Welcome back to the Ultimate Pool Pro Cup. Time for our next match to get underway. Luke Gilbert taking on Shaun Storry, and the Welsh Wizard joins Mark Shepherd on commentary for this one.
Thanks, Stephen. And after the drama of Liam White's last gasp win in the last match, another high-quality pairing here. Shaun Storry, number 2 seed, takes on Luke Gilbert, who's down the other end of the rankings, having been the lowest-ranked challenger player to make it up into pro status. But make no mistake, there's not that many places between them in terms of performance. Luke Gilbert's looked pretty good in the recent times we've seen him. Very pleased to be joined by Jordan Shepherd. He's been responsible for some of the most entertaining moments of today. Welcome.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you. Luke was actually really unlucky that he broke perfect and just didn't get one. Sorry. Yeah, and like I said, unlucky there on the break. I haven't really seen much of Luke play. I'm not really sure of his standard or anything.
Yeah, he was number 8 on the challenger rankings. He was the only person not to win an event that got promoted, so he was dependent on other events. We just saw Shaun mention in his pre-match interview how positive Luke was, even though he was dependent on those other results. The moment that he watched Craig Waddingham win the last challenger series, which guaranteed his promotion, was definitely one of his highlights of the season. He and Dom Cooney were there watching it.
Good. Great. I bet that was great viewing for Luke.
He's got his work cut out here, though, because Shaun Storry played really, really well last season. One of the real revelations of the season. Could have secured the number 1 ranking had he had a better performance in the last event of the season, but I think he'd be pretty happy with where he finished up.
Yeah, his game has really come on, Shaun's. I remember watching him play probably 10 years ago, 11 years ago, something, and to see him obviously from there to now is unbelievable, really. He really believes in himself that he's going to win every match, from what I can see.
Yeah, he's made very quick progress. He was a good 9-ball player before, but in the few years he's been playing 8-ball seriously, he's really moved up the rankings very quickly.
Yeah, he's a good shot maker, good potter. Plays good pool.
Yeah, and a good attitude on and off the table. He's got himself into prime position to secure this first frame.
Surely there can't be as much drama in this match as what we've seen already.
Well, you'd have thought not. There was a moment earlier on in your match, I don't think we thought there was going to be much drama at all when you had that slow second frame with the re-rack, and then suddenly it all kicked off after that.
Yeah, it went crazy, didn't it? I never felt like I was part of the match at all. Just made a few little mistakes and just sat there watching me clear up a few of them. And then at 5-1 I thought now was the time just to let my arm go and see what happens.
Yeah, the more relaxed you got, the quicker you were playing and the better you were playing. It suddenly all looked easy at that point.
Yeah, it didn't feel too easy at the end though. I was so nervous in the 6-red shootout.
Yeah, much great TV, but not so great for the players involved.
Yeah.
So, good first clearance this from Shaun Storry, just quietly gone about his business.
Yeah, they were pretty easy, but he made them. His white was good then. No stress whatsoever.
So this match being played first to 7 with 40-minute match clock, so whichever of those 2 milestones we reach first. Almost went to another 6-red shootout in the last match-up. Liam White just clearing up with not even 1 second left on the clock. It was about half a second left when he beat Phil Harrison.
He timed it well, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think you realised quite how well you were saying in the post-match interview. You didn't realise quite how well he timed it.
Yeah, I think that was more luck than judgment with the timing, but it could finish under pressure.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. I mean, even a player as quick as you, that once it gets down to the 15-second shot clock, that anything can happen really. You just have to play the first shot you see.
I think it's a great concept. Makes pool so much more entertaining.
Yeah, it's a much better format for TV as well, because you know roughly how long the matches are going to take. You don't get suddenly an unexpected 2-hour match. So powerful break from Shaun, but no balls finding the pocket.
none of them really threatened as well either there.
Generally this season he's had one of the best breaks on the tour, which is why he's won so much stuff.
Yeah.
Extension called.
Nice chance for Luke here though.
Yeah, I've been impressed with what I've seen of Luke. He had a good performance at the Champion of Champions a couple of weeks ago. Just lost narrowly to Chris Day 4-3 in the quarter-final.
Red balls in play.
Nice little shot there, sorry.
No, I was going to say, he's a former junior world champion and under-23 world champion, so even though he's relatively new to this level, he's been winning for a number of years.
Yeah, so he's used to winning. It's a big advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I think just it almost doesn't matter what it is. I mean, obviously you've got to move up the levels, but just getting used to that winning and getting over the line is a very important skill.
Standing in very good stead. Going for it. I'm assuming he'll be about early 20s, will he, Luke?
Yeah, he won the under-23 Worlds in 2019, so the most I can tell you is he was under-23 at that point, so maybe above now.
No.
Slightly unexpected miss. Though those middle pockets are tight from that angle, you wouldn't expect him to have missed just dropping that ball in.
Yeah, just nipping the white.
So not a bad chance for a counter clearance from Shaun.
Just the 8-ball is the only slight little problem, but he could even play it out here. Yeah, he's looking to come off 2 cushions and just get the 8 out. And then the rest of the finish should be dot to dot then.
Yeah, it always makes sense to go after the problem ball early on, so he'd be delighted if he can get the 8 out.
Yeah, that works. Good shot.
Yeah, I had the knowledge there that if he did knock the red in, it would have been okay. That would have been a legal shot still, so took a bit of pressure off that cannon. Doesn't matter who you're playing, it's important to get a good start. I think it probably matters a little bit less for Shaun because he's spent so much time out in this arena. He's also been responsible for some pretty good comebacks this season, so whether he's ahead or behind, he knows he can still win the match.
Yeah, for sure. I thought he would have played that yellow and stunned onto the yellow near the yellow and the red and gone the other way, and this would have been his penultimate ball, the one he's playing now. Obviously to play up for the other one, but he's seen it a different way.
Yeah, it's one of the things you see when you watch enough pool play. There are sometimes multiple routes to get to the same place. Although, it has to be said, it's generally easier in the commentary box. You make less mistakes from here.
Yeah, there's no chance of missing the ball in here.
Well, even out on the table, you weren't doing too badly. Something like 7 clearances from the break in a row this morning.
Is that what it was it? It's nice to play well under, well, the most pressure.
You must be excited for next season, your first full season on the tour.
Yeah, it is really exciting. Yeah, with what's happened. I've watched all the events and they've all been really good. The table plays lovely. The cloth is really good. Obviously, the prize money is never been heard of in pool before. So the way this going is great for the game.
Yeah, it's been amazing progress in a short space of time. Very exciting to have this as our final event of 2021 to kick off the new season.
Yeah, it's great. Another nice finish there from Shaun.
Yeah, it's looking good so far. He's had the longest to wait of all the players. He's the last player to get into action in this tournament. This is the final group stage match to be kicking off. So you see there, Autopilot, ranked number 2 on the Ultimate Pool Pro Series. The best result of last season was winning event 5. She then followed up with a runners-up spot 2 events later, weekend at the beginning of December, losing out to an informed Gareth Potts on that occasion.
Looks very comfortable in the arena from what I've seen so far. It's like he's playing on his own table.
Yeah, and I think that's been the key to it because he spent so much time out there now. It kind of has been like playing on his own table. He's very familiar with the arena and playing in front of the crowd and the TV cameras.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not always an easy skill. You see a lot of people that are very good on the outside tables and get to the main match arena and work so hard to get there. It's not always quite the same thing.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And it can work the other way as well, where a lot of people, well, not a lot, but there's some players who are really comfortable on the match table, and then when it comes to the outside tables, then they don't seem to get that same buzz about it.
Yeah, sometimes you just need that extra pressure. Almost a few nerves are quite helpful sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I agree.
So Luke Gilbert's second break of the match needs to start making something happen.
Hit them well. This is a massive frame for me.
Yeah, look at that split. This is absolutely ideal for him to get his first frame on the board.
Yeah, the red at the bottom is the only problem ball, but that sneaks off the yellow, so I expect him to get these, really.
Yeah, it really helps to win a frame early on in the match to settle down. You don't want to get too far behind.
Yeah, especially with the shot clock, because it allows people then to, not saying Shaun's going to waste time, but he'll have good game management in play.
Yeah, you have the luxury of dictating what pace you want to play at.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Luke will have taken some inspiration from his good friend Dom Cooney winning his group yesterday evening.
Yeah, I watched most of that last night. He looked good, Dom. He played some good pool.
Yeah, Dom's ended up in banging form at exactly the right time. He ended the season winning the last event and then seems to have carried that good form on.
Yeah, good to see. Chop.
Well, that's been one of the great things about the Pro Series. There's been a real mix of the experienced players that we all know and love from years gone by who've won multiple world championships, but also some great up-and-coming players coming through the ranks.
Extension call.
This man at the table is very much one of them.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see the new blood coming through.
Yeah, and it's been pretty even so far in terms of the new blood and the old blood, how the tournament wins have been split up. I guess Shane Thompson's somewhere in between, but he's obviously been the man of the season so far.
Yeah, Shane would be classed as young compared to like the other guys, though, I'd say. Nice, he done unbelievable, Shane. He never looked like losing in a lot of his matches.
Yeah, and winning breeds a real confidence. It also gives you a sort of aura. Other players start to feel a bit more scared of you.
Yeah, they'll oh, thought you'd missed that then.
Yeah, that did look wide when it set off.
You're going to play another nice shot here as well. A lot of traffic. These yellows play big.
Yeah, he's going to gap through to the red, but it's where he goes after that. Yeah, he's played that well.
His table's going.
Well, he's played it well if it stops.
Yeah, good shot. I know it's a straight black, but you have to cue these well. Good
Yes.
positive strike.
Especially when it's to win your first frame of the match.
Yeah, nice shot.
Well, this is looking good so far. Both players seem to be in pretty good form.
He got there in the end. I don't think he was away. I would have gone around the finish, but good finish all the same. Put a good ball with 3 left, I think it was, when he screwed the ball up the rail. That was a good shot. Probably won in the frame.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look then at Luke Gilbert's profile. See, 2019 under 23 world champion, 2018 junior world champion.
Good pedigree for a junior.
Yeah, very good pedigree. Yeah, he's one of those guys that kind of won at every level going up through the ranks.
Yeah.
Looking to keep that going. It obviously gets tougher once you come off the top and end up in the senior ranks, but so far he's really holding his own in this company.
Yeah, it doesn't look
Frame 4.
intimidating in any way.
Leading 2 frames to 1.
No, in that Challenger Series this year, the field of 128, there were some good players in that field. There were a number of people that could well have been pros in other circumstances, so
Yeah, agreed.
very tough field to get through.
Absolute minefield. I looked at a few of the draws and they could have been pro matches easily.
Yeah, I'm particularly thinking of Craig Waddingham, who
Yeah.
unbelievably finished ranked number 1, having missed half the season.
Yeah, crazy.
And he played 4 events, 2 wins and 2 semi-finals.
Not bad, is it? You don't mind following that for ball break, that is from Shaun. Is it 10-1?
Yeah, getting back to usual service with his powerful break.
A lot of power, even though he was the second ball down.
Yeah, he's one of not that many players on the Pro Series that's persevering with a cut break at the moment. On this table, the ball's split up so well that most people are finding that hitting them head on does the job.
Yeah, you've only got to give him a little soft screw and they just fly open. I only side broke in my 2 matches because I wanted to try and get the 8 ball in the end, try and golden break because I was obviously well behind. And then with how well I broke the first match from the second part, I thought may as well just keep going with that and keep at it. Luckily it worked well. But then obviously from 5-1 or wherever it was in that match, going in then to the Mellon match as well. Just kept getting easy finishes.
Yeah, and you started that one off with a golden break as well.
Yeah, it was that was alright. Definitely wasn't disappointed in it.
No, pretty good debut on the tournament series.
Yeah, it's alright. He's landed a little bit awkward, yeah.
Yeah, the cue ball's gone far too far over to the right of the table for his liking.
He'd
So-
love to hold for this red next to the yellow on the our left hand side. Yeah, he's played that well. It's a nice little shot.
Yeah, this table's very fast. It's really easy to lose control of the cue ball. He did well to play that slow enough.
Just bump into the black slightly, or you could even play it long. Just wherever he fancies.
Yeah, it would have been easier for him if he finished just an inch or two short, but it should still be okay.
Yeah, played that nice. He's actually got really good touch, Shaun.
Yeah, that was a nice shot there. He made it look very easy, but it's the kind of shot it's quite easy to mess up.
Yeah, the shot before was really good as well. When he's landed low, landed short enough to pot the red in the middle.
So good stuff from both players continues. 3-1 now to Shaun Storry.
Good start. I think he'd be very happy with this start that was gone.
I must say, I do like the format. I imagine you'll probably agree, given the way your 2 games went. But playing in these sort of knockout groups, you get a couple of matches done quickly and then you book your place in the quarter-final.
Yeah, it's a good way of doing it. I agree, yeah.
It also makes it easier for us and for the viewers to follow. You see a few players a couple of times, and then we'll be regrouping from tonight. When we come back on air at 7 o'clock, we'll be bringing you the first 2 quarter-finals tonight.
Yeah. Who was the first on tonight?
First on will be the winners of Group A and Group B, so John Rowe against Tom Cousins.
Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah, 2 former world champions.
Luke Gilbert to break.
I mean, Tom Cousins, I think that was a good performance. His only experience on the Pro Series so far has been playing in the Pairs Cup, where he didn't really look his usual self, but he really turned it on in this tournament.
Yeah, he looked great, and he lost the first frame against Jimmy Croxton, and then he won 7-1, I think, didn't he, after that?
Yeah, 7-1 against Croxton, and then beat Carl Morris 7-2 in his group final. He's had a couple of days off. That was Monday afternoon that he won those matches.
Yeah, feels like forever ago.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of pool played since then.
Luke unlucky there, getting the break hit them really good.
So comparatively rare safety shot.
Yeah, I thought he could have gone reds then and gone for a finish. The reds are not that bad really, but short the left against there. Maybe being in front made his mind up there. I think if he's behind, he probably has to have a go at him.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. You normally feel a compulsion to chase a match when you're a little bit behind.
Yeah, especially with the match clock. Kind of dictates the way you've got to play.
Slightly unusual passage of play this, as no one wants to pot the first ball.
I think he can clip the yellow back now, though, and then he's on a finish for the yellows. I'd say. It is thin though, very thin. Looks a lot easier on our other angle.
Yeah, we've got the benefit of the overhead shot in the commentary box. It looks from that angle that it is possible. Yeah, there we see. Well, it's decided against it.
I thought a better shot there was to screw the yellow and put the white behind the red. And then that would have left Shaun no shot then, really.
Well, it would certainly have been better than what he actually did, which was to give away ball in hand.
Yeah, a bit of a disaster, really.
Well, one imagines that will be the end of that safety exchange now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Can't see him playing safe again.
No, that would be most unusual. It's not ideal from Luke, not finding the cushion from that range, but just trying to play a delicate little shot. So yellow's the choice for Shaun.
Yeah, it's a nice...
Yellow ball's in play.
Although it was easy, it was a nice ball to get rid of, wasn't it, with ball in hand.
Yeah, sometimes the balls near the pocket you think are going to be the easy ones, but on that occasion you just wanted to get it out of the way.
Make his life a lot easier.
The one on the right-hand side cushion made easier by the fact there's another ball above it can be used to drop onto it.
Plays a nice shot here as well. He bumps the red out the way. Pots the yellow in the middle and bumps the red out the way.
Yeah, this finish looks like it should be fairly plain sailing for him, although one of those ones you've got to do a little bit of work. And exactly as you suggested, just cleared the path a bit.
We'd like to leave this yellow by the red until last, I think. So try and get up table now, play the yellow in the middle, the ball down the rail, and then the yellow in the other middle, and for an easy black. Just look in there where he wants his white.
Yeah, it's just taking a bit of time to compose himself for this one. It's not so bad at the beginning of the match where you've got a 30-second shot clock and then a 15-second extension that gives you a decent thinking time.
That 15, no, you've literally got to know the first shot you see, you've got to go. Nice shot. Played that well.
Yeah, it's doing exactly what you said, take the two on the right-hand side of the table first. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's not so much that 15 seconds isn't long enough to play a shot, but it's not long enough to look at all the shots. You have to just take one and go with it.
Yeah, and remember, whether it be the wrong shot or not, that's just... But that's what makes great viewing for me. Makes it so much more exciting.
Yeah, very much so, and it's nice to see the odd miss. It makes the top players look human occasionally.
Yeah, for sure. Because everyone can play to an extremely high level. It is, like you say, it's nice to see them feel the pressure and do some crazy stuff with the shot clock.
Yeah, I mean, you'd started playing 10 seconds a shot long before we got down to that being the shot clock.
Yeah, I had to start going. I had to start running.
This has been a good finish from Shaun, although he was slightly gifted this opportunity with the ball in hand.
He's took him well, and he's pretty much the same as every other for him. He hasn't looked at under any pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, all four of the frames that he's going to win, assuming he completes the job here, yeah, as you say, been quite similarly straightforward. He's kind of never looked very flustered, just gone about his business.
Yeah, again, getting them done. The table is playing unbelievably nice. It's a nice shot. So I think it allows the matches to go this way. You can come off the table without doing anything wrong, really. Just the breaks. And the balls are going to spread every time. Yeah,
the table's playing beautifully, playing very quick, but as long as you're playing well, that's generally a good thing.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
If you're not in good form, it can show you up a bit, but that's not been something we've seen much of. We've seen a lot of informed players.
Yeah, the standard's been very high from what I've seen. Can only remember a few matches what were a bit scrappy, but it's good to watch.
So we see Shaun's route to glory in this frame.
Looked good for his 4-1 lead.
Yeah, he has. I mean, Luke hasn't done a lot wrong, but Shaun has been very solid so far. Yeah, I mean, continuing that point about the strength in depth, that last match, Phil Harrison against Liam White, you might have said would be one of the more one-sided ones. Phil Harrison, obviously a former world champion and been one of the best players in the world for a long time, against Liam White, who was newly promoted and hasn't got anywhere near the same collection of silverware, but it just shows that there's no lot between the players at this level.
Exactly, yeah. I know Phil won the what event was it? One of the Monday night events. He won something, didn't he? Under the shot clock.
Yeah, I think he won the Masters earlier on in the year.
Yeah, that's it, the Masters. Yeah, but it feels to me like he's not nowhere near as comfortable playing under these circumstances as what he would be, say, on the outside tables.
No, he feels like another one of those players that's just one good tournament run away from really getting himself going. I think McHill's another one where we know how good he is, but he just hasn't quite brought it yet on the Ultimate Pool Pro Series.
Yeah, agreed, yeah.
He's going to be very dangerous when he does that.
Yeah, look out when he does, yeah.
So an important opportunity this for Luke Gilbert. Slipping 5-1 behind would be very problematic at this stage in the match. He's got a pretty good opportunity. There's a clear pocket for all the yellow balls. Although his finishes where he doesn't necessarily need to play a cannon, he just needs to chart a path around the table. And he's looked pretty consistent when he's been in amongst the balls. He just hasn't had many opportunities so far. He was one of the players that had to come off on Boxing Day to play in the preliminary rounds. Top 16 players were seeded through to this televised stage, which started on Monday. But before that, the remaining 32 players played off against each other. There were a few byes in that section as a result of people not being able to...
Too much Christmas dinner.
Well, maybe too much Christmas dinner, or I was going to be a bit more charitable and say there were a few COVID travel restrictions that made, for example...
Yeah, the lads travelling from abroad, yeah.
It's very tough. And particularly tough Dayan Grek from Malta. He's had such a good season. I'm sure he would be very disappointed to have missed out. Meanwhile, Luke Gilbert going about this very nicely. And we'll have a match on our hands if he can get this back to 4-2. It's only effectively going to be one break of serve down. So you can see written on his face the relief as he gets that clearance done. Looks to be under a little bit of pressure there. Managing a wry smile, but 4-2 down. Knows he's still got a bit to do. Shaun Storry just looks very composed so far. We've seen a few matches this season where he's had to claw his way back from difficult positions, which he's proved to be something of a master at. But this time he's doing it the easier way. He's just got off to a sort of nicely paced start. He hasn't looked hurried around the table, which has been getting on with the game. And he'll want to end the season on a high note. He's had such a good 2021. Anything now really is in bonus territory for him.
Prime 7.
I've had the pleasure of his company in the commentary box a few times this week. I know he's enjoyed that side of it, but you heard from his pre-match interview. Priority number one, of course, is what happens on the table. And that's the last thing Luke Gilbert wanted to see. Cue ball straight into the top left-hand corner pocket. That just shows you've only got to catch the pack very slightly off. He wasn't far off hitting the front ball straight, but just slightly favoured the right-hand side of it as he looked at it, and that was enough to find the corner pocket. Again, Shaun let in for a fairly promising opportunity. Sort of tipping point in the match. 4-2 is a good start, but you're not quite there. If he could just get it to 5-2, he'd be feeling a whole lot more comfortable. His last outing in the match arena was a couple of weekends back when he lost to his good friend Chris Day in the first round of the Champion of Champions shootout. That match going to a very tense 6-red shootout. He'd have been disappointed to lose that one, although he'd probably take the view that if he was to lose to anyone, lose to his practice partner and stay around and support him at least. Right now, though, no signs of any losing. It just looks to be supremely composed. I think he'll quite like the look of the draw. I wouldn't say there's any easy draws or any easy groups, but if he gets through this match, or whoever gets through this match, will be playing Liam White up next. He's just put in one of the performances of his career to beat Phil Harrison. So it's by no means going to be an easy match, but there are some, on paper, tougher draws that you could have found against the absolutely top-ranked players. Be nice to see Liam continue, though. He deservedly looked very pleased with himself, having beaten Phil Harrison in that match. It gives hope to everyone coming through the challenger ranks that they can emulate him next year.
Right.
Meanwhile, very steady yet again from Shaun Storry. Gets it to 5-2.
Been the story of the match so far. Mind the pun.
Yeah, it has. It's just looked very composed, hasn't it? He's just happily, serenely sitting in his chair. Just everything seems to be in good control at the moment.
Got his chances to keep clearing up. You won't mind it like that every time.
No. Luke Gilbert at the moment, I think, is just going to be a little bit frustrated. He hasn't done a whole lot wrong. Just that in off that last break was what's led to this 3-frame deficit again. Starting to get to the business end of the match. We're into the second half of the time, and obviously nearing the finishing line. If Shaun can get to 7, then the match stops at that point.
Frame 8. Shaun Storry to break.
Yeah, with how he's played and broke so far, you can't see anything. It's going to be tough to see it come in from here. Like.
Yes, I feel like it could be famous last words after having almost said the same in your match, but it's not looking like there's an easy way back into it for him right now.
Even there, he's broke, obviously dry, left him nothing.
Yeah, he's had a real touch with where the cue ball's finished up.
Probably has to play the double on the yellow, I think, and attack the match.
Well, trying to find a safe resting place for the cue ball.
Yeah, nice shot. A lot more restraint than I would have had, I think. I'd have been tempted to go for the double there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have been, but I guess got plenty of time, 16 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not really time pressure, it's more he's just got to play like this like a normal match, just get himself back on level terms if he can. We've seen this a couple of times where neither player wanted to go for a clearance. Obviously options are a bit limited from where Shaun currently situated. So an attempt at containing safety. Slightly messy layout of the table. So many balls in the middle of it. Everything's quite close together.
Yeah, not the best. Not the most inviting, that's for sure.
I mean, it's one of those ones that would potentially only take a shot or two to open things up. But right now, understandably, nobody wants to be the first one to go for anything.
It's like them snooker frames, all the reds end up at the top. Someone's forced into playing a shot they don't really want to go for.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you don't necessarily want to be the first one in. You'd almost rather the other guy got in and tidied things up a bit for you. More of an onus, obviously, on Luke to get something going.
Yeah, Shaun will be happy to waste a good 5 minutes here, back and forth. If anyone's to push the ball, I feel like it's going to be Luke who's going to have to take the initiative and go.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Shaun's going to deliberately play slowly, but as you say, if the frame just happens to play out like that, it's no harm to him, really.
Yeah, exactly. That was a nice pot. Made that well.
Yeah, and this is sort of an example now, actually, of like, you know, a couple of shots have been played since we were saying things were congested, and actually the yellow is now a bit more open than they were.
Mm-hmm. Two slightly tricky yellows. Obviously the yellow welded to the red, which you can try and get here. Screwing across. Yeah, nice shot. And then I'm not sure if this yellow goes in the middle. If it does, the finish is more than on now.
Yes, it's very tight, but if he could sneak that one in, that would be absolutely ideal.
Play a great shot there. Good control.
Just looking at whether he can see. Can't see a lot of the ball, and indeed you can't see a lot of the pocket once you even get to the yellow, because the other yellow's in the way, so maybe he hasn't quite got enough room to work with there.
Good QS from what I've seen.
Yeah, very sort of steady QS, just never not flamboyant, but just sort of never does anything wrong, just hits the ball nicely.
Yeah. Stand up well under pressure.
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. But if you have a very repeatable technique, it doesn't need to change too much, even if you're under pressure. He's played that pretty well. He's got an angle if he wants to go into this yellow. We'll find out whether he thinks it pots. If it pots already, he can just run round it. See if he feels he needs to move it.
Touch unlucky.
Yeah, it was always easy to hit the cannon. It wasn't so easy to control where the ball went after you hit it.
Yeah, I think that's what he's concentrated on more there, making sure he's got the cannon instead of thinking of where he's going to push him afterwards.
Extension call.
He's in the world of pain, yeah, because the yellow's going dead. Even if he pots the plant, the yellow's going to be going behind the red somewhere.
Yeah, the options here not very tempting, are they?
No.
Is he looking double?
Oh, what a shot that is.
What a phenomenal double.
I fancy him to get this as well. This is horrible as well because he's got to try and get on the black somewhere.
That's a great
That's a
double.
great shot, yeah. Oh, that's unlucky to land the way he did, because if he could play in such a way that he just had to pot the yellow, he had to do so much work there. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a shame. Having done all the hard work there, just that one shot got away from him.
Trying to make an angle what probably wasn't there.
And the worst thing is, when you miss in this kind of position with only one ball left, you just give your opponent so many options. Like
Yeah.
Here he should be fine to go for a finish, but even if he didn't want to, there's so many safety options available.
Takes the pressure off Shaun as well, because he knows he's just got dot-to-dot finish then to get on the hill.
Yeah, this is a pretty big frame, because if he can get to 6-2, there'll only be around about 10 minutes remaining by then. It's going to be a very...
Yeah, it's an uphill task
tall
then
ask,
from there.
isn't
Yeah.
I mean, on the basis of what we've seen, Shaun has definitely been the better player so far, but Luke just hasn't had enough opportunities really at the table to get into the match.
Yeah.
It's going to be disappointing if he does go on to lose, because Luke's been up here since Sunday, so well, it was up here at least on Sunday. I don't know if he went back in between, but he's had a lot of time to get himself psyched up for this match.
Yeah, to get himself ready for the match. He's had a bit of a touch there. I don't think he played on this. He's on the red in the middle, but...
Yeah, he's done his best to slip out of position, given how many options he had.
Yeah, he could have played on about 5 balls there.
This one to the middle is quite comfortable, because the white's naturally going up and down, so he doesn't have to do too much. Well, just playing from end cushion to end cushion at the moment.
I think he has to pot the red in our right middle now and come up and down. Leave the red that's next to the other red in the middle, and then he can get out. I think that's the... Yeah, this isn't the shot for me. I think he should be played the other way. I don't blame him for playing safe, but I think the finish was just as easy as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of times that you let your opponent back to the table, even though it doesn't look like there's much danger of anything happening. You can mess the table up, or you can flick the ball.
Or to get lucky and land safe or something. Could go close to potting this though. No.
15-second shot.
Maybe we'd put a bit more pace into that, just in case he caught it at an angle to...
Yeah, try and get the yellow moving.
So, you just heard the referee, Matt Ward, announce that the 15-second shot clock is now in operation. So we're going to be hearing a lot more of those beeps from now on.
Decel done.
Yeah, really lost his technique for a moment, although luckily for him it was such a straightforward shot.
Yeah,
It didn't
didn't affect the shot. Yeah, you're right.
So he's got to play one good shot here to screw the cue ball back, and then he'll be back in prime position.
Them shots are so easy on this particular table because the cloth's playing that nice. You can just let the table do the work for you.
Yeah, and that's exactly the right way of thinking about it. You don't need to force the ball in, just aim it towards the pocket. It's a very quick table. It will accept them naturally down the rail if you don't hit them too hard. Well, so that time he needed a bit of help from his opponent, but another good finish from Shaun in the end. Had the luxury of being able to play a safety shot in the middle of that clearance to perfect the position slightly more.
I think Luke will come up, win. Obviously, if he wins, he'd be delighted, but he's going to come off, watch this back, and a few slight little mistakes have done him in the end, I think. Obviously, Shaun's played well as well, but Luke's had his chances, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, it's not that he was completely blown away. He has had a couple of goes at the table that haven't turned out right, like that one we've just seen the replay of. Fairly straightforward equation facing Luke. He's got to win the remaining 5 frames of this match if he wants to progress through to the group final. As we were saying, whoever wins this match will be going straight back on against Liam White afterwards.
Luke Gilbert to break. Trailing 6 frames to 2.
Right now, you'd imagine that will be Shaun Storry.
Yeah, that'll be a good match either way. He's hit them well.
That's a crunching break.
He's hit every break well, to be honest. Just been a bit unlucky. He broke dry twice, I think.
Yeah, he had an in-off. I mean, even here he's been a bit unlucky because 2 balls have clustered together.
Nice shot again.
Balls in play.
Yeah, still staying positive, as indeed you need to when you're 6-2 down.
Just give yourself a chance. Get on with it, start potting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long shot, but in terms of time, he's probably just about got long enough, so
Yeah,
it's
he
just a case of winning the 5 frames.
Nice shot.
Suddenly these reds are looking so inviting.
Yeah, he played a really nice first shot. Done all the hard work for him.
And from a neutral perspective, you always want to see people give a good account of themselves.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Especially with a younger player as well.
Yeah, very much so. And especially when it's a sort of comparatively rare opportunity to get this level of TV coverage. You want to see people show off well to the friends and family you know they're going to have watching.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Completely. Chap.
Break.
Good clearance there.
Even there, he left the black kind of tricky, leaving the white welded on the cushion. Always seems to be the case.
So let's have a look at his opening shot of the clearance, which was the one that set this up. Just got that cluster opened perfectly.
Yeah, great control.
So not out of this, but he's going to need a bit of help from his opponent. It's Shaun to break next. So if Shaun makes a ball here, you would imagine he's in good shape to seal the match. I've seen him persevere with the second ball down break throughout, so you imagine that's where he's going to be going again. It's actually looking a bit calmer now as he sits in his chair, Luke Gilbert. I think in a way
10.
some of the pressure is off. He's kind of given an okay account of himself in that he's won these 3 frames with nice clearances. Knows that things aren't entirely in his hands now.
Wouldn't overly surprise you though if he dished 3 in a row, which doesn't take too long to dish a few in a row. Like now he's got another chance. 6-4, his break again. Who knows?
Yeah, this wasn't Shaun's finest break, was it?
Yeah, he butchered them a little bit, didn't he?
Yellow balls in play.
Didn't hit him as sweet as he has in the other breaks.
Yeah, I mean, slightly unusually, he's going for a sort of power cut break, which is almost a contradiction in terms, but it does mean that if you slightly mishit it, it can go quite badly wrong.
He needs to route these properly because he could end up leaving 2 balls on the cushions to get out. Could end up leaving the one on the left side and then trying to get over on the right side, which is really hard.
Yeah, so wisely going after the one on the right-hand side cushion early on.
Wow, he's hit that unbelievably well.
Yeah, you were saying a moment ago what a good QST is. He got through that really nicely.
Yeah, really smooth. Looks like he's got a bit of a snooker background. Nice long pause.
Yeah, it's a very sort of conventional technique, isn't it?
Yeah. Be interested to know if he has played a bit of snooker.
Oh, where's this cue ball going?
The yellow hasn't even gone either. I think that Could be end of sport.
Yeah, that's not his best shot at all. Catches this ball too thin, which is why he
Essential
missed the
call.
pot and why he lost control of the cue
Yeah,
ball.
the white. I thought the white was an off when he first hit it, to be honest. Pot the red in the middle and try and get the red off the cushion. No.
Yeah, there was a case for that.
The turnover shot's going to be easy enough though, isn't it? At some point, you'd think.
Yeah, it's just never a good position to be outnumbered numerically in balls.
No, that's why I think these rules are actually really good. You get punished a lot if you miss this. You can't expect to win the frame a lot of times.
It's a nervous moment there. He realised he hadn't got his extension left and
Yeah.
had to rush and play a shot, not necessarily the one he wanted to play.
And again as well.
Yes. Well, it's not played that as well as he might have done.
Can he play this off the 3 rails and back in the middle? There's a chance he's looking at.
Played a lot of right-hand side.
Yeah,
Oh no, playing.
now then. He just looked a little bit edgy this frame, Shaun.
Yes, I mean, it doesn't really need to be given the scoreline and the time, but
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
nice shot.
you're absolutely right though. He's looked so composed for the rest of the match that
Yeah,
when he finally gets into a comfortable position, he looks less comfortable.
Yeah, surprising. I think you'll feel better when the match is over and done with.
Yeah, I think sometimes you sort of feed off your opponent, I guess, because Luke's sort of rushing to get back into this, you almost get drawn into that.
Hmm.
And the shot clock as well. I mean, I have to say, like, you know, maybe you aside, like, not many people have looked that comfortable with this 15-second shot clock, even the quicker players.
Yeah, like you say, there's literally no time to look at anything. The first shot you see that, and that's your lot. Off you go. Just hit the white. The time is a factor here as well. I don't think he can get back into it anyway, even if he's to pot this. No.
Well,
A little bit of a shame the way this frame's gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame for both of them, 'cause I think Shaun would rather have just won in one clean visit, even though he is going to win either way. And Luke hasn't really helped him. It's just chopped the balls around a few times. I mean, generally the standard of play has been good in this match.
Yeah, I'd say it's been a high standard, really. Just a slight little mistakes here and there.
It's going to be a deserved win for Shaun Storry.
Yeah, he looked the better of the two, but
frame and the match.
So, black safely deposited. Shaun Storry came through what could have been a tricky first round match against Luke Gilbert. He